I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Guys, welcome back to another episode of Oops, the podcast. I am Giulio Gallerati, joined by Ryan Lynch.
Hey, everybody.
How are you, Ryan?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing great, man. Good to see you. I know you guys are excited about all these updates. We're going to get right to it. But I wanted to share this, which I thought was just so fun. My dad has started calling Ryan just Lynch.
What an honor that is.
He'll text me and be like, Lynch, man, Lynch. Or then he'll call me and be like, that sounds like we'll talk about something dark. And he'll be like, man, Lynch would love that. He's a sick puppy.
I'm glad he knows me like that. It truly is an honor.
It is, right? It's like
Big
locker
G.
room talk with the boys. Hey, Lynch, get over here.
Sorry, Big G. I'm busy doing dark shit.
So shout out to Lynch, dude, and to Big G. Well, anyway, guys, where we last left you, I was about to go into my night the day before I was going to propose. And a couple of things were left outstanding. So first of all, we did not have a ring yet. And I guess that is the first thing. So to update you, the ring was acquired. Obviously, I had already bought it. It kept getting pushed back. Finally, it's like 6:30 the night before, and the guy's like, I got it. It's ready. And I'm like, wow. So, and I've heard that this is a thing apparently, but we did a street handoff, dude.
Wow.
It was a light sprinkle. It felt very, and I took a video of it because I wanted to document it. I tried to document as much of this as possible, which, by the way, hilariously, the dude who I told you guys about who walked by me while I was on the phone with Hillary's parents, his girlfriend and he both messaged me and they're like, I'm positive that this was me or / my boyfriend. So that was fun. I'm glad you guys were listening and you were able to track that down.
That's great.
Because that's always fun to figure out who actually listens to the pod and who doesn't, or how caught up people are. You know what I mean? So appreciate the real ones who are up to date, but no judgment if you're not. Enjoy us however you'd like. All right? That's how we're arranged here. Real quickly, guys, I'm going to be in Detroit at the House of Comedy the last weekend in September, Friday and Saturday. I think it's 3 shows. And I've added a bunch more dates and more are coming for now. And I'm not 100% certain on a couple of these, but I know that like these are done. I know I've been speculating about some cities and I'm sorry about that. Sort of learned my lesson. I still am intending to come there. But for now, I know for sure that I'm going to be in Oklahoma City and Tulsa, Oklahoma. I've actually gotten a lot of requests about both of those. So I'm excited to see you guys there. I will also be in Louisville, Kentucky, as well as Cincinnati, Ohio. I forget specifically which spots, but I will be announcing that. And the stuff that I have on the books for sure, I'm in Seattle the weekend of October 14th. I think the weekend of October 13th. My shows are the 14th. Hereafter at the Crocodile. I'm at St. Pete the 10th and 11th of November. And I've also added 17th and 18th in West Jordan, Utah at Wise Guys. So all those are on notjulio.com. And yeah, for now, I guess that was a little overwhelming probably, but I'm coming to your city, dude, before I'm intending to shoot the special at the end of the year. So
It's big stuff.
Big stuff coming.
Okay, so the ring, what was it in?
Okay, so it's funny. He gave me this like funky little box, which I can show you. Well, it might be too invasive to show you guys the actual box thing. I could probably just show you. I'm going to send Ryan all this stuff to include in the YouTube. So
make sure you're watching the YouTube video, especially for these episodes, because we're going to be putting them up there.
We'll be throwing some stuff in there. So got a video of the guy in the street. I filmed him. I know this guy, so it was great to see him, and he's a good dude. And 5 stars. He got it done. He crushed it. The ring looked amazing. It was perfect. Exactly what she wanted. Exactly what we were expecting. No surprises. And that's what you want in this situation. So finally, I was ready to be excited. Now, I got the 2 boxes. One of the boxes was this cute little wooden box. It was flat, and it had a little like design on it. And when you opened it, the ring sort of did a like little 180 into place as it came up. It's pretty fucking cool. There was something about the wood where it was like very PacSun. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It was very like
Quicksilver.
Hang 'em high, whatever.
We used to do this in Shaka Bra.
I hate, as you guys know, I don't like this this whatever, I forget which one I hate.
Was it very much that S with the 6 lines that you draw and they have the pointy top and the
Yeah,
pointy
there was
bottom?
It sort of looked like that.
Oh, wow.
Well, I don't know, whatever. But it was very PacSun. And I was like, oh, this is nifty, but I'm not totally sure. So I asked her friends. I was sort of leaning toward that box still because I thought it was cool. And her friends were like, no, you should probably go with the traditional box. The thing that I worried about the wooden box too was that it would seem, it would seem like janky.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like a fancy enough person to take liberties like that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I've only heard of the traditional.
Yeah. And I ended up using that. It was like a suede,
Velvety.
gray,
suede.
velvety. Yeah, exactly. And that's what we ended up going with.
Nice.
But that is a thing. Like if you want to take liberties with certain things, it has to be like obvious that you would be the type of person who does that. So like if you want to wear fake jewelry, you have to be a person who seems like they'd be wearing jewelry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is like kind of fucked up, but I don't know, whatever.
No, that's fine.
You get what I'm saying, right?
We get it, guys.
So anyway, because you have to like differentiate yourself. You know what I mean? Whereas like in New York City, like people aren't like, people are like classy in a way where like you live in New York City already. People don't need to see that your thing is like a signature designer. We don't need to see a giant designer name to know that you're fancy as fuck. You know what I mean? It's an interesting thing. So anyway, went with that one. Was so thrilled to have the ring, Ryan. Was just absolutely thrilled. I got home and my next, 12, 18 hours, whatever, looked as follows. So I had 2 spots that night at the stand. I was very much looking forward to doing them. And it was about 7:00 and I think the show started around 8. So I got home at 7. I sat on my couch and I poured myself a big glass of Hennessy to celebrate.
You've been talking about the Hennessy.
I've been talking about the Henny lately.
That's a good occasion for it.
And, I love the Mezcal Negronis. You guys all know I'm currently out of Campari and Mezcal. So I need to re-up on those. But I was like, whatever. I'm going to drink Henny, like a real one.
Okay.
Had a big glass of Henny. It's a little too big. The night got started off with a bang, let's just say. I hadn't eaten dinner yet. And I showed up to the show. The show was a little lit, but it wasn't in a way where like I couldn't perform. You know what I mean? I was completely capable of performing. I was probably funnier than I typically even am. And I get up there. So first I get to the club. I'm all excited. I'm telling everybody, all the comics, and they're all excited for me. Like we're all celebrating, whatever. I get on stage and I tell the crowd immediately. I'm like, I'm proposing tomorrow. And everyone's like, ah. They love it. I was like, you motherfuckers better not tell anybody. Oh, no, whatever. All good, right? Fun. And then I go home after the shows and I'm just so excited that I'm going to propose that I may have fucked my shit up very, very, very slightly.
Okay.
And in an isolated circumstance, it wouldn't have mattered. But there was a bunch of little things that tipped her off a teeny tiny bit where she wasn't sure, but she's like, I might be getting proposed to tomorrow. But then she's like, no. Like, girl, chill. Slow your roll. Like, what makes you think you're getting proposed to tomorrow type thing. That was what was going on in her head. And guys, we're going to have her on the pod next episode.
Yeah,
so
she'll be on this week.
Keep your ears peeled for that. That's going to be a lot of fun hearing your side of the story. But dude, I get in bed and I'm like, oh, I can't believe we've been together 5 years. I'm like not ready to go to bed yet. But at the same time, I really wanted to go to bed because the next day was the big day. It was like Christmas as a child all over again, where you're so excited, you can't sleep, you're counting down the hours to Santa and presents, and you're freaking out. So this was me doing that as an adult. I start being like, should we take some selfies? We start taking selfies in bed, which I'll share a couple of these if Hil Dog signs off on it. But I'll show you now. I'm just lit taking selfies in bed with my girl. She's like, okay, that's kind of a cute one.
You guys take selfies often?
In bed? No. It's the first time we've ever taken selfies in bed. But whatever, dude. It's under the guise of the 5-year anniversary. I think it's all good. I'm like, I love you. I'm so excited. And she said afterwards, she's like, I think it's sweet how excited you were. Because a lot of times people are nervous or they're not sure. It's so permanent that like people freak out. But you were just so excited. That's true. I was so excited. I could not wait. So a couple of things worked against us. You guys know the plan already. You know the plan well from last episode. We'll walk through it again, so I don't need to really do a recap here. But we were pretty much ready to go. One of her best friends in the world, Emily, texts me and is like, she needs a manicure. And I'm like, okay. And we're thinking about it. And I guess she mentioned to her, no big deal. She was supposed to be going to a workout class with one of her other friends, this girl, Rebecca. And Rebecca, I text Rebecca. I'm like, I need you to suggest a manicure to Hillary. Just be like, I'm getting a manicure. Do you want to get a manicure? Later, Hillary said that was a little sus that multiple people had asked her about manicures. But Rebecca and her ended up going to get a manicure. And I was like, Rebecca, you fucking got it done. Good for you. Later that night, Rebecca starts texting me. She's like freaking out that she gave it away somehow. She goes, she picked sort of a red, and then last second she changed it to a clear. And I thought she must know. And
Why
I'm like,
is clear?
I have no idea.
Engagement nail color?
I don't speak nails. I don't speak nails. I have no idea what she was talking about. But dude, I was also like a little lit at this point. Our conversations, bro, we couldn't have been going past each other more. Like she had no idea what I was talking about. I had no idea what she was talking about.
This is the friend?
Yeah. And I would say something and then she would say something back, and it was like a whole thing. So I want to walk you guys through some of this conversation. It's pretty funny. So I saw her, I was like leaving to go to the comedy club. My boy, Zach, was picking me up. And I see Hillary and Rebecca come back to the building. And I'm like, hey guys, what's up, dude? Rebecca couldn't even look me in the eye. It was hilarious. She was so worried about indicating error. Hillary didn't notice, but she couldn't even look at me, dude. And it was so funny and cute. I was like, oh, that's really cute. Didn't think twice about it. And I text her at midnight. Hillary's sleeping at this point. I'm just so excited. I'm like, OMG, were you nervous before? That was... No. Then I go, that was capital letters, very cute if you were. Like, big day tomorrow. I like can't even sleep. I go, I'm so excited. She goes, I was so nervous, but I really think I hit it. Did she say something? I go, no, she didn't say anything. She goes, she seemed a little like questioning when we first went to nails, but it might have been in my head. And I'm like, I'm being very affectionate tonight too, which I'm worried is maybe making her suspicious, but not actually. Like, she's still not suspicious that it's happening. And then she goes, okay, I ran Brad through all the combos and he thinks it was fine. That's her boyfriend, who by the way is a big Jets fan. Poor guy, dude.
That sucks.
Poor fucking guy. The Jets really like affect this guy, dude. He's a great dude, but he loves the Jets. And all he wants to do is watch the Jets. He works a lot and he loves
He works
Jets.
a lot. Good people are Jets
He was so
fans.
excited about the Jets. And here we are.
Poor Brad. Works hard.
But here we go. So I ran Brad through all the combos and he thinks it was fine. I go, yeah, I think you're fine too. I mean it. But she was like asking me who I was texting. I said my boss and told a very believable story as to why. I said, LMAO, really? You were like all shook. So funny. She goes, kind of love that. I go, agreed. So then me ramping up the affection is less significant. But then we start losing each other. She goes, no, I was so normal. I was like, Brad told me my computer was honking, which is my boss's sound. So I had to text them. And I was like, ha ha ha.
Honking?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's happening at this point. Brad was like, damn, you're lying so fast. I'm worried for us. I think she might be suspicious, but I think I threw her off. It's starting to really get convoluted here. I'm like, I go, I nearly snapped and just proposed tonight. She's now sleeping. And by the way, she told me later that if I had touched on that, she would have thought it was sweet. And I was like, oh, that's cute. But then I was like, how would I document it? You know? She goes, when she said brown, I was like, go for it. It's fall. And I go, okay, but what would she be suspicious of? She goes, and then without me saying anything, she switched last minute to neutral. I go, oh, interesting. She goes, if she's suspicious, I think it would only be because you have a free weekend. But she 1000% doesn't think there's any party planned, IMO. And then I'm like, but like it's our anniversary. And she goes, we discussed potentially getting dinner or hanging tomorrow after, whatever. None of this even matters. At one point I was like, LOL, you're so honest. You couldn't even look at me. And then she somehow took that as me saying she was being honest for telling me that I thought she was suspicious. And we just like, and by the time I went to bed, I was like, holy fucking shit. Did I completely fuck this up? You know what I mean?
Were you able to sleep?
Yeah, I was eventually able to sleep, but I didn't fall asleep till late. And then I woke up early. And at that point, dude, the day just crawled by. We had a 2:30 p.m. brunch reservation, which is late. In retrospect, I regret making it that late because at one point Hillary's like, can we just go earlier? And I was like, no, like I'm so tired. And she's like, I'm scared right now. Should I be scared? I'm like, is something happening that I'm like not in on? I feel like there's something happening that I'm not in on. And I'm like, no, what are you talking about? I'm just tired. I know. So I'm like, fuck.
Did you get red?
She's starting to figure out. No. But then I'm like, should we dress nice? And I know I talked about this on the last episode that I was attempting to oversell an underwhelming 5-year anniversary, right? which completely checks out and it makes sense. Why not? Like, we're just going to brunch. Like that for a 5-year anniversary, that doesn't seem like enough. But when I said that, I was like, yeah, maybe you can like put that new product in my hair that you got me. And she was like, she started looking at me and I was like, what? Like, you know what I mean? So it's
Giving
kind
you
of
the
like
burners.
that. So those two things. Then plus the day before I was like, I have a meeting. And she, for whatever reason, didn't believe the meeting. I was like, it was with the PR people. I'm supposed to be going to Vegas to do this like PR thing. And I'm like, yeah, to meet the people. So she like sort of didn't believe me, whatever. But I went to the restaurant to do a walkthrough, which guys, if you're planning to do some sort of proposal at like a restaurant or some sort of place, you got to do the walkthrough. The walkthrough really is necessary because like we blocked it all out. Shout out Mike Brick NYC. He's a legendary comedy photographer in the scene. I had him in the mix doing it. And basically we decided how we would do it. So initially I was like, okay, I'll have this take us to one table and then I'll be like, you know what? It's special. Like, let's sit in the back. But later decided that was too sus. I just let them place us in the back. I was going to say it's our anniversary. Like, oh, that's so nice. Let's go sit in the back. And then I wanted to have it fully documented just for myself. I don't think Hil Dog would feel comfortable with me like sharing any of this, but I have full video. I recorded audio and we had full pictures. So we had to place a video camera somewhere that was like not suspicious and not obvious where she wouldn't notice it, which was harder than it sounds like it would be. Shout out to TV Boy. Shout out to TV Boy, Chris and Andrew Lane, who run that. They do all like hidden camera video stuff. So they would have been able to do it, but without like people who are pros at setting that up, there was a little risk involved. So we figured out where to set up the camera, where she should sit, where he was going to sit, all the stuff, right?
May I ask where you set the camera up?
Yeah. So, and this happened at a restaurant called Vic's that we love. We love this restaurant. We always go there. In New York City. So anyway, there was all these shelves. So we sat in the back in like the atrium area because I wanted to just be a little private because when I did it, I didn't want everybody all up in our shit. I didn't want Hillary to be uncomfortable. I know she wants it to be private, but I really wanted to document it, which is part of the reason why I didn't want to do the in the apartment proposal because it would, I don't want to have someone pop out of the closet. That's very invasive, you know? So I had them put us in the back where they don't usually seat a ton of people. They usually fill up like the main area of the restaurant, but it's not like fully private. You know what I mean? So it's like a little partitioned, but not full. So in that back area, there's all these like built-in shelves to where like the cooks or whatever put the food up before the people take it. So there's all these shelves and they have a bunch of shit on them. There's flowers, there's books, there's like nice little stuff, decorative stuff. So we put the camera on one of those shelves. Theoretically, you could easily notice it, but you just might not. So, and I'll walk you guys through when we actually went down there, but when we were sitting there getting ready, when we're sitting there like ordering and stuff, she starts looking around because she's sort of like thinking there's a chance at this point. You know what I mean? And anytime she look in the direction of the cameras, dude, or of the camera, I would go, I started air kissing her to get her attention back. And at one point I blew her so many air kisses that I was like, I'm trying to break the air kiss record today. It was crazy.
Make me want to date you.
I'm a dog.
Damn, that's adorable.
Before we actually went down there, her friend Emily came over to like try on a dress because she was in town for a wedding, which she actually was.
And
she
was that planned?
Yeah.
Cool.
So, and in Hillary's mind, and Hillary will run you guys through all this. I don't want to go into too much what Hillary's going to say because I don't want it to be redundant. But Hillary was like, oh, I guess Emily's in town, which would make sense because like he knows that I would want her to be there, but like she's also here for a wedding, so I guess that checks out. Whatever. So like putting those pieces together. But Emily came over in the morning to try on some dresses, and it was so fun because every time Hillary wasn't around, Emily would just look at me and be like, you guys can imagine what excited face I'm making if you're not watching this on YouTube. And I thought that was really cute, and it was really fun, dude. And I felt really close to her during this whole process too. It was fun to be talking to her, going back and forth. She wanted to see screenshots of every single text they sent to people telling them. And it was fun to have her in the mix. I walked her through the whole idea about like upselling the thing and about upselling the like getting dressed up and looking nice and all that shit. You know what I mean? And we were all going back and forth and it was a lot of fun. So that was cool. Brian, you been drinking some coffee, my man?
Only the fuel coffee.
Absolutely.
It's delicious. I got my coffee machine. It came in last week, and I was grinding up coffee beans first thing in the morning.
Sweet.
And then I brewed.
It's the best way to do it. I was watching a Danny Palmer Good Vibes video.
Nice.
And it was saying something about how coffee is best enjoyed as like directly after the beans have been ground, apparently.
Yeah, it
Which
did taste good.
And I was like, oh wow. And I think there's something about just like the overall benefits of coffee and like what you're supposed to get out of it. It's much richer when you've just ground them as opposed to letting them get oxidized or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but I will say it sounds good to me. And I've always liked a fresh cup of coffee. And Fuel has got you covered for all of your coffee needs. Whether you're an espresso person, they do have a delicious espresso option, which is the Jet Fuel Espresso, which I highly recommend actually, and I've been enjoying. They also got the dark roast, the Patriots blend, the regular blend. There's also decaffeinated, and they have a bunch of other customized products and some like nice alma mater products. It's a New England-based brand, which is special to me, and I'll tell you why specifically. There's a Fuel coffee shop directly across from the first apartment building I ever lived in, dude. And even closer to the last dorm I ever lived in. Because the last dorm I ever lived in, 1019 Commonwealth Avenue, was directly across the street from it, right next to T. Anthony's, which is a pizza spot I always used to go to. And then Babcock Towers, the apartment building directly behind it, is where I lived in college for the last 2 years. So very, very cool. So it has a warm place in my heart. And I just love a good coffee. And I will say, guys, everybody drinks coffee for the most part, at least everybody that I know. And we have a really good discount here. In the past, our discounts have been super modest. These are the real deal. And also the shipping is much more effective. There's flat rate shipping, $5 anywhere in the US. I got to check on if you guys are trying to order to other countries, what the deal is with that.
So if you buy one bag of coffee, $5. If you buy 50 bags of coffee,
don't quote me on that.
Okay, then
but I will say this, like no matter where you're shipping it to, it's going to be $5, which honestly I love because there's nothing that annoys me more when I'm navigating, e-commerce and I buy something and then I find out that shipping is $17.99. I'm like, what is that? It's bad
like
business.
You need to spend $300 to get free shipping.
Yeah. So not only is it flat rate shipping, but it's also 20% off of your order. 20%. That's a lot. And this is a thing that everybody likes and wants and needs, and the coffee's delicious. So the feedback so far has been great from people who've drank it, and we recommend you guys hop on board and get Fuel coffee in every damn kitchen in America.
100%.
Lynch. My dad started calling Ryan just Lynch. He goes, fucking Lynch, dude.
I like that.
So if Lynch is drinking the coffee, you too can drink the coffee. Go to shop.fuelamericacoffee.com. That's shop.fuelamericacoffee.com and use promo code OOPSBEANS for 20% off of your order. That's promo code OOPSBEANS for 20% off of your order. You're going to love it. Get in there and get some. Proposing is a very manly feeling. You're doing just a manly thing. I want to make you mine forever, right? And I was feeling manly already because I'd already done some extremely manly shit the night before, okay? Or maybe it was 2 nights before, I forget. And I don't think I told this on the pod last time, but if I did, stop me. Did I tell the cockroach story?
Give me a little more.
So I did some extremely manly shit earlier in the week too. So this is the most manly I've basically ever felt in my entire life. I'm at the US Open. Hillary calls me panicking. I'm like, oh my God, is everything okay? She's like, the biggest bug I've ever seen is in our apartment. She's like, it's the biggest bug. She's like, it's like the size of my hand. And I was like, what? The size of your hand? I was like, hopefully. I was like, where is it? She's like, it's on the wall above the TV. And it was like a really hot, humid day. And like, that's when those suckers come out. You know what I mean? And I don't know who lives in New York or who doesn't, but no matter where you live, our building's pretty nice, but no matter where you live, you are going to see some kind of critter in your apartment at some point, whether it's a cockroach or a water bug. And I'll be honest, I've wondered like what's worse to have in your apartment. Water bugs are like giant cockroaches basically, but cockroaches are like, there's more of them usually. If you find one, there's usually more nearby, which sucks. I'd rather fight a conventional enemy. It's like the difference of like fighting a conventional army or an insurgency. I'd rather just see the tanks, have a bigger army, destroy them, than have to worry about guys in trees with slingshots fighting an unfair battle. You know what I mean? So I prefer the water bug.
Yep.
And I have some experience with them from when I lived in Brooklyn, whatever. So she calls me bugging out, dude. I'm like, tell the guys from the building to come in here and take a look. So they come in, they can't find it. She's like, they think I'm lying. And she's like, I'm paralyzed right now. And she's like, I can't even go into the bedroom right now. So the matches end up to being like the longest matches ever. Like The first match was the one where the guy glued himself to the chair. I don't know if you guys were following the U.S. Open. Some guy cemented himself to the chair. So automatic 1 hour delay. And then the second match was a long match too. I didn't get back till 1:30 in the morning. I get back at 1:30 in the morning. She's basically curled up in a ball on the couch sucking her thumb. She might as well. She wasn't actually sucking her thumb, but she was curled up in a ball under a blanket on the couch. And I get in there and immediately I'm just like, where is he? And she's like, oh, like, you know, I knew it was in the bedroom. And I don't like these kind of bugs that much either. But like when you're protecting somebody else, like you're not even freaked out by it at all. You know what I mean? I wasn't scared. But I was also like, there's no fucking way I'm going to find this thing. If it's as big as she said, which there's no way it is, it's probably scampered back to wherever it came from, in the drain or whatever. So I go in our bedroom, looking around. I don't see him. I go in the bathroom. I'm looking. And I notice out of the corner of my eye something. And I'm like, oh, wow, there he is. There he is, sitting on the ledge of the shower. There is a big ass fucking cockroach. Water bug.
Big as a hand?
No, but it was probably like...
That's big.
It was one of the bigger ones I've seen. It was probably at least like 3.5 inches, probably, if not bigger. So I'm like, oh, fuck, I might be able to actually get this guy. Now, this is the problem with these fucking things. I don't know if you've ever tried to kill one. They're fast. So there's a chance that if I'm not quick enough with him, he could escape. And that'll suck knowing that he's at large if he escapes behind somewhere and I can't find him. So I'm like, I got to kill him. I open the shower and I have a tissue in my hand. I go to get him and he escapes. And he runs around to the corner of the shower and I just fucking stomp him out. Got him. Got his ass. What a triumphant moment, bro. I emerged from the bedroom holding him like fucking Simba, dude. I'm like, and it was such a proud moment, right? And in that moment, dude, it was as if my fucking pecker grew 3 inches.
My hero. I bet she loved it.
Dude, it was amazing. And at that point, too, I'm like, babe, you were right. That thing was huge. It was the size of your hand.
Put up a big fight.
You know what I mean? I'm upselling it, make it sound. But anyway, that was like a super triumphant moment for me. So I'm feeling super manly going into this week or going into this weekend. You know
I forgot where we were going with that. Very manly.
Super, super manly.
Oh, that's a great story.
Yeah, dude. And here we are, so close, right? I'm hoping it's not going to all fall apart in front of my eyes. And I'm paranoid. And after, I don't know if you guys watched any of the U.S. Open, but after Djokovic beat Ben Shelton, he sort of used Ben Shelton's celebration on him, which is like answering the phone and then hanging up on him, which I loved. Love a little fucking healthy competition. And I sent Hillary the clip of it, and I had forgotten that I'd sent it. And like 3 hours later, she just texts me, stop, in capital letters with a bunch of P's. And I'm like, oh my God, she knows I'm proposing. And then I open it, and it's like just her reacting to the Djokovic clip.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh, fuck, thank God. But it was like that. You know what I mean? I'm just on high alert, and I'm worried that at any moment she's going to foil the plan.
Yeah. I was nervous to text you since I've seen you last.
Dude, everybody was.
I didn't want to text you.
I know. It was so funny.
And Saturday did drag. I was like,
You're like,
it was like 11:30, and I was like, you were still posting on your Instagram story. I know that seems like a little thing, but like you were posting memes and things as if it was any other day.
Yeah, totally.
And like that made me believe that maybe I had the dates wrong.
Oh, interesting.
Like it was so convincingly a normal day.
Good.
What you showed the world.
That's good to hear. And any of her friends who flew into town were posting burner stories, acting like they were still in the place that they lived.
Did you guys coordinate that together?
No, like her friend Claire, who lives in Texas, and also her friend Allie, who lives in Nashville. They both were posting like burner stories.
That is
some of
so
her friends.
good.
I think her friend Jessie may have done that too. I think all of her friends who flew into town all somehow knew to do that. It was insane and brilliant.
Brilliant.
But dude, it was really funny. I started fucking with the ring guy since I know him. I'm like, northeast corner of the street, black trench coat, nothing underneath, or something like that. And then he's like, green shirt. Like it was fun to kind of lean into that.
That's a fun role play.
That's a fun little put in there, right? Ryan, you got a nice head of hair on you, pal.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah. I appreciate it. We, knock on wood, hopefully that will remain to be the case. But listen, if it were to not be, fortunately, there are things that one can now take and do that will sort of ensure one's hair health. Hair thinning impacts a lot of people. And in fact, over half of us will experience some sort of hair thinning in our lifetime. It's not only common, it's normal. Join the thousands of people who are standing up for their strands by doing something about it with Nutrafol.
We love Nutrafol.
We love Nutrafol. And we love it because why not have a conversation and talk about what's going on? If you have any sort of concerns about your hair health, There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to take action, and that's why Nutrafol is here and has you covered. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement, clinically shown to improve hair growth, visible thickness, and strength. Nutrafol's physician-formulated hair growth supplements use science-backed ingredients. Their drug-free, patented technology provides consistent, reliable results. Ryan.
Bam.
Nutrafol supports healthy hair growth from within by targeting root causes of thinning, which are and not limited to stress, hormones, environment, nutrition, etc. And they'll help you set up a personalized plan just for you to help you accomplish your goals with your hair. So take the first step to visibly thicker, healthier hair. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off of your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code OOPS. Find out why over 4,000 healthcare professionals recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code OOPS. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code OOPS. Okay, so you guys all already know that she picked her gift going into our 5-year anniversary, which she should have known. She didn't know by that, but she should have known that no matter what, I would never have accepted that scenario. If we're like, we're tired, it's been a long summer, whatever, like, let's just pick gifts, let's do a budget. You know what I mean? I would never accept that, bro. I'd rather refinance my house than have to do that. Like, if you don't have the romance, what do you have? You know what I mean? So anyway, so she knew that her gift was this little bracelet, which, by the way, now has much more significance since it was the burner gift for us getting engaged. Us getting engaged, it's crazy to say. So I go to the store, I buy a giant gift bag, tissue paper. I'm trying to throw her off the scent because she knows that her gift comes in a small package. So when I come home with this big bag, I'm like, maybe it's not what you think. I don't know if that worked.
Did you say that?
No, but I looked at her like, But then she kind of just felt bad because I had already opened her gift. And she's like, well, you got me a better gift than I got you. She's like, you can't just do that. Like, if we agree to something, you need to stick to it. I'm like, that all totally checks out, but we'll see.
But we'll see.
And dude, at some point, I'm like, let's dress up. Like, and she sort of cheekily, I don't even think meaning it like this. She's like, is this like going to be the most special brunch of my life or something? And I was like, well, do you know, pal? It is. It actually is. Right? Pretty fucking good. Ryan right now has his thumbs upon his third eye. He's sucking that one in, letting it sink in.
It's beautiful.
So the time has finally come. Brunch is at 2:30. I wanted to try to like run a little late there because I was worried about the period from between when I told her or when I proposed, not when I told her, when I proposed, when I told her that I intended to be with her for the rest of my life, and getting to the next place where everybody was going to be planted. I was worried about that time. So what I did, I called all of her friends, the ones who both could make it and couldn't, because the ones that couldn't, there's a list, right, of the obvious people who would be invited or whatever, or who were going to be able to make it. Some people I already knew they wouldn't be able to come or that they wouldn't come, so I didn't even ask them. But anyway, I called them all and I was like, anybody who's going to be there, I was like, you're not allowed to answer your phone from 3 to 4 p.m. And the people who were not going to be there, I was like, make sure you answer because I'm going to suggest that she calls you because she's not going to think of who to call. So she's going to be like, oh, I should call this person. I should call that person. And I'm going to be like, yeah, call them. And that would actually be helpful for the scenario, right? So I thought that was kind of clever.
That's very smart.
Agreed. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks.
Dude, you got everything buttoned up here.
I tried, detail. And she still kind of fucking figured it out, man. Bitches be intuitive, bro. Bitches be intuitive. Anyway, but so she admits that she never really knew. And she's the type of person who, if she knows, she won't let you have it because she doesn't like surprises. She gets freaked out. But she liked this one. So anyway, and you saw some of the pictures, and it was a really sweet moment.
Very.
So we're headed downtown. We take an Uber. We normally would take the train because I hate Ubers because they're just so expensive and I can't stomach how expensive they are. So we'll take the train down. But today I was like, it's our anniversary. It's humid. Let's Uber, right? That wasn't a tip off. We hop in the Uber and I planned it out so we'll get there a little late because if brunch was quick, which sometimes it can be, I don't want to be sitting at the restaurant for 30 minutes trying to kill time when we're already engaged. And she's calling everybody and their grandma and being literally her grandma and being suspicious that no one's answering, right? Or no one's called her back yet. What are the odds of that? Something's up. So We leave around, say, 2:20. It's going to take a while. It's fashion week. It's whatever. And we're in the Uber. And it's funny, the Uber happened to drive by all of these significant places in our relationship. Oh. And she was like, was that on purpose? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, where are we even going right now? You know what I mean? Thinking that maybe that would be the surprise. Trying to throw her off to the fact that the surprise is that she's getting proposed to. But we happened to drive by the place we went on our first date and her old apartment, which were located nearby, close to each other, you know, for convenience.
It's romantic.
But anyway, so that was nice. I didn't plan that, but that was cute. We get to the restaurant and I was like, oh, it's our anniversary. And they're like, oh my God, it's your anniversary. And they start telling her that she looks so pretty, which she thought was suspicious. I didn't think it was suspicious. Shout out to Amanda and Laura at Vic's and also Hannah. We miss you, Hannah. Hannah doesn't work there anymore. She moved down south. But all our Vic's people, we love all of you. And actually, one of the reasons that Vic's became so special to us is because the chef's name was Hillary. And during the pandemic, my Hillary would order the same salad from there all the time. And they kept being like, oh, Hillary just ordered, you know what I mean? Because it was so, eventually when we actually came back into the restaurant, the chef wanted to meet Hillary because she's like, I just had to meet you because, and now that chef is the chef of this huge restaurant called Chisiamo, which is also a great restaurant in the city that we recommend. But it's just funny. So we love Vic's and it's like, it's the place that we know the people, you know what I mean? It's a great spot, especially for brunch. So anyway, we get there. They're like, oh, it's your anniversary. Well, we got to put you somewhere special. It's all going according to plan. There, Mike Brick, MIC, is in the corner. He's with somebody who works at Gotham Comedy Club. I forget her name. I've maybe only met her once or twice. They're sitting there. Everything's set up. The camera's set up. Everything's set up. I don't even have to look. I know we're good. I try to place her in one seat, and she chooses another seat. And I'm like, fuck, okay, well, that's fine still. Like, the place that she was, I thought about it in my head blocking-wise. I was like, I can still turn the camera in a way where I'll be able to capture it. That's fine. She goes, why? Is there somewhere you prefer I sit? And I was like, no. So anyway, we would do our normal order. And listen, it's later in the day. She thought it was a little sus that I had ordered alcohol, but because I don't usually drink during the day, which is true, but it's later in the day. We're celebrating. I didn't think that was that weird.
It's your anniversary.
It's our anniversary. 3 p.m. is kind of a weird time to order coffee, in my opinion. So we order the meal. We get appetizers. We get mains. We're taking our time. I'm looking at the clock, and I keep turning around and looking at the guy, Mike, to see if he's ready because I'm not sure. I text him, I'm like, I'm about to do it. And I'm looking. I'm not sure. But then I'm like, all right, I'm just going to make sure I do this all very deliberately so that even if he doesn't catch it exactly, like he'll have time to pull out the camera and start taking it once I'm down on a knee, and the video camera will get everything, so we'll be good. So I start going into the whole thing. So spoiler alert, I texted her sisters after we recorded the last episode about the line that I had planned, which you guys probably all famously remember. Mm-hmm. You're my special boy, and now I want to make you my special man. I texted them, and I don't know if they were busy or if they just didn't get it or if they thought it was weird, but they didn't reply. I was like, I know what I'm going to say. And I said that, and they didn't reply. So I got in my head about it, and I decided not to have it be the thing that I said as I got down on my knee, but I did say it while I was down there. While I was still on my knee, I said those exact words, and she laughed her ass off. And it was great. It was a really special, nice moment. So I'm glad I did it. Mm-hmm. And she confirmed later that she's like, honey, no one's going to understand that. That's like our inside joke. I'm like, yeah, I guess that's a good point. And she also confirmed that she wouldn't have cared if I didn't get on a knee. She's like, no, I would have liked that.
Yeah.
But how would he have known that I was about to do it? So I liked that I did the knee, and the knee was so cool. It was subtle.
Did time slow down when you went down?
Sort of. It felt a little surreal. Like the blackout thing, I kind of experienced it a little bit myself, to be honest. It was pretty special. I said something like, I remember, I think I said this on the last episode about how my boy Philip, I told him really early on that, and I'm like, and I was right or whatever. Mm-hmm. Get down on a knee. And shout out to Tom Kern, my, chiropractor / physical. He's almost like my physio, dude. If I was like a tennis player, my physio, my coach, my team. He was like, dude, because he had just recently proposed, and he's like, I forgot to actually say, will you marry me? And then we just sat there awkwardly. And I was like, oh. And I actually forgot to physically be like, will you marry me? But she just said yes and leaned in. We had a nice kiss. It was really special. We have a nice moment together. Probably 20 seconds into it, the entire restaurant starts clapping, by the way.
How'd she handle that?
She thought she was fine.
You gotta concede that.
She was fine with the surprise. And like I said, I made it the last reservation of the day to try to give us privacy. And it kind of ended up working out. There's probably only 5 or 6 tables left. We had a nice hug. It was really special. And we're like, oh my God, can you believe it? Like, what an incredible moment. Like, what a wonderful, incredible moment that I'll never forget. One of the most special moments of my life, which is why I'm glad I have everything. I have very clean audio of it and video.
And we have
pictures.
this.
And we have this.
We have this.
We have a diary.
All of it. All of it. Last week's episodes sharing your entire thought process. In an episode previously, when you talked about becoming a woman, somebody commented saying that was foreshadowing for what was to come. So good ears.
I purposely did it too. And I think even after the episode, Ryan may have been like, you dog or something. And I was like, So yeah, dude. So now we're fucking engaged. She can't believe it. Loves the ring. It's exactly what she wanted. It's the teeny tiniest bit too big. We've already adjusted the sizing. It's good. They didn't even have to resize it. They just like did some little trick.
Oh, I have a question.
Yeah.
When was the first time that you referred to her as your fiance?
Oh, wow, dude. I think like we just kept saying it to each other.
Fiance.
We're like, can you believe like you're my fiance? Like, so that I get like right after, like over and over and over again. And then like there was a couple of times where like we were talking and I said it.
Fiance.
Yeah. And there was also a nice moment too where I like we cheersed and her friends were around us, and I'll get to where we're at this part in a bit. But it was just us and like her girlfriends in the apartment. And I did a quick little cheers, and like by the end of the cheers, I like got the slightest bit emotional. And bro, like clockwork, all the girls started crying. It was like this crazy moment where I'm looking around like she's crying too. They're all crying. I was like, that's crazy. And like Hillary's like, yeah, it's like when the man cry, like it's like seeing your dad cry or something. I was like, oh fuck, Jesus. And then she was like, yeah, you guys don't know. Like Juji's a sensitive angel.
Juji?
She's like, he's a sensitive flower. I was like, I am a sensitive flower. So anyway, so dude, we're sitting there. We're kind of like, we can't believe it. We're in disbelief. She's looking at the ring. She loves it. It's like fun. What a fun moment. And it feels so good to have that moment, dude. What a special thing. And I remember Francis saying something like that about this to me. And I saw him last night and we were talking about it. And I was like, dude, yeah, like, you know, you really helped me with some of the stuff that you were saying about the way that this all feels. And like, you were so right. And he goes, dude, you were the one who told me that. So apparently like we had told each other, I don't know, whatever. So it was fun to hash it out with him, and him and Sierra are really excited and they want to take us out and stuff. And it's all really cool. So
that's great.
Really fun, really exciting.
Fiance.
So now, I know, fiance, right? Fiance. Guys, today's episode is sponsored by Acorns. Acorns helps you and your kids save and invest. Acorns rocks, man. What more is there to say? For anybody who isn't familiar with it, it's a really cool program that you can link directly up to your bank account. So anytime you spend money, it sort of rounds the difference up to the dollar amount and invest it for you.
So if you buy a water bottle that's $2.90, you can round it up to $3.10 are invested.
Exactly, Ryan. That
was
a great example.
When you're walking out of the store, what are you singing?
Acorns, 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 ha, 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 ha.
Acorns, 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 investing like voila.
That was very good, Ryan.
Like a magic thing. Because it's like magic.
I like the liberties you took there, Ryan. That was a very nice song. It's pretty cool. I mean, I've used it for years. I know a lot of people who have enjoyed using it and think it's an easy way to sort of slowly invest over time. As the saying says, from acorns, mighty oaks do grow. So grow your oak now. Why not? The best part, there's no expertise required. Investments are automatically put into diversified portfolios based on your risk tolerance. Acorns even has exclusive financial education content for your whole family. I know how important it is to save for the future when you have kids, and Acorns can be a crucial tool. The sooner you start investing, the more chance your money has to grow over time. From Acorns, mighty oaks do grow. Like I said, head to acorns.com/oops to download Acorns to start saving and investing for your future today. Paid testimonial and may not be representative of all clients. Compensation provides an incentive to positively promote Acorns. View important disclosures at acorns.com/oops. Investment advisory services offered by Acorns Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Brokerage services provided by Acorn Securities, LLC, an SEC-registered broker-dealer, and member FINRA/SIPC. For more information, visit acorns.com. So, dude, it's funny. I was joking with her this morning. I'm like, you're my Fianchi.
Fianchi.
She's like, Fianchi? I'm like, she's like, what the fuck's that? And we're like laughing. I'm like, Fianchi. And I keep repeating it. She just starts, she's dying of laughter. And I was like, spell it out. She's like, F-A. I'm like, no, that would be funk. She loved that too. And she eventually figured it out and was laughing. I know wife-elect is a popular term that we've used on the pod before. But anyway, fiance. So now let's say it's like 3:35 p.m.
Okay.
The party's at 4. It's around the corner. Everybody's hiding, waiting. A bunch of her friends have flown into town. Her parents are in town. She doesn't know that. My parents are in town. Seal Butch, my brother, her brother-in-law. You know, it's a small group, but a mighty one. Mm-hmm. So everybody knows to get there by 3:45. So I'm texting with her sisters. Now, this is funny. Her sisters were like, do you guys want to meet up with us later? We're going to be so-and-so place. And I was like, yeah, 100%. And she just thought that whole thing was sus.
I remember you did that as you were like sitting down, right?
But yes, but wait. So she thought that whole thing was sus, right? But after I had done it, she goes, who knows? She's like, does so-and-so know? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, does so-and-so know? I'm like, yeah. She's like, do my sisters know? And I'm like, no. Which is why I thought it was so amazing that they texted us, because now we can go surprise them.
Oh my God.
And she goes, oh my God, that's so fun.
Do you think of that on the spot?
I think I had thought of that before.
That's great,
It's
dude.
good, right? I
That's
know.
so good.
Thank you. I know. And this is good too, because it stops her from calling them, and it sort of like limits the amount of phone calls that she's about to make. So she starts banging down the list of people she's going to call, which are pretty obvious. So she calls so-and-so. She goes, she doesn't answer. She calls someone else, doesn't answer. She's like, oh my God, it's funny no one's answering. She goes, who should I call? And then I'm like, I know who's been told to answer.
Yeah.
So I'm like, call her. She calls. And now granted, I didn't realize she didn't FaceTime anyone. So the other people at the party could have theoretically answered because she didn't FaceTime. If she FaceTimed, she'd be like, where are you? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So they could have answered, whatever. So her friend Casey, who couldn't make it, answers. Awesome. Another one of her friend answers. Awesome. And at this point, we're getting close to being at the spot. So we're good. I'm like, okay, good. Her sisters text me and are like, everybody's here pretty much. My like basically sister, Isabella, just beat me there, but she was worried that it would tip off somehow. And one thing that I fucked up, dude, I accidentally gave the wrong phone number of Hillary's sister. I was like, text Hillary's sisters if you need anything to everybody who was going to this party. And I gave the wrong number. So if anybody texted them, they didn't go through because I messed up one digit somehow.
So her name's Isabel?
No, Isabella probably texted her sister Liza and was like, hey, I'm running late. But like Liza never replied because she didn't get it because I gave the wrong number.
Got it.
But anyway, Isabella knew well enough to like wait in the Uber. I was literally right behind them. We didn't see him, didn't notice.
Nice.
And when we walked in, what a special moment. She was so fucking surprised. And dude, it was like a surprise in this way that like accumulated because each person she saw, she was shocked by. Her parents though, she's like, oh my God, what? She kind of makes it was almost like the tennis tournaments ended and we're trying to get to our box to hug our family. Mm-hmm. She hugs her mom first. My mom comes out. I hug my mom. Everybody's sort of coming around. And she has that moment with her mom. And then she turns around and there's her friend from Austin. She's like, what the fuck? You're here? And then she's like, what? You're here? And it was just a series of that happening, which was so fucking fun, dude. And then the next 2 hours we spent there taking pictures, hanging with our families. Like, what a nice moment it was, man. What a special thing. And then we had some like dinner reservation later for the out of town people, just so that they like didn't fly in town to do something for 2 hours and have no other things to do. But we ended up just having people over to the apartment and getting twisted, dude.
So you took a lot of Polaroids.
Took a ton of Polaroids. I think Steve, her brother-in-law, brought the Polaroid camera. Whoever brought that, or maybe her sister, one of her sister Laura, maybe. But whoever brought that, fucking genius.
You got stacks. I got stacks of
dog.
Polaroid pics.
Yeah, and they're awesome.
Yeah.
And it all worked out so great, man. Like, what a fun, special fucking thing. And we burned it down here, had a great time, and it was one for the books for sure, man.
That's beautiful, dude.
Super
I can't
special.
believe just the tiny things. The two things that stick out to me, which probably are very small. You posting on your Instagram story, that's for whatever reason sticks out to me still, just as if it's any other day. And then calling the audible with the sisters.
Yeah, you like that?
Damn.
I know. The audible, well, I guess I had sort of planned it in advance, but still, yeah, ultimately an audible, and like, it was pretty solid.
That's great, dude.
So I would say she was pretty fucking surprised. You know what I mean? Like, for as clever and intuitive as she is, like she was not certain at any point. And even if she was leaning toward it, once it happened, she thought the surprise was over.
Mm-hmm. She said this once before, I don't know, a couple months ago. Like, she asks questions. She questions things, and it's not because she's prying. She just wants clarification. So it's impressive that even when she's asking you these, like, is this going to be like the best brunch ever? Or, like why are we sitting back? Why do you want me to sit in this seat? Like,
right.
You're able to play with that well and not let that get to your head and fold and be like, will you marry me? Like, everything played out really well. That's fantastic, dude. It's a beautiful story. Thank you.
And I remember telling Ryan about it for the first time that I was planning it. And, so it's been fun. And he even said that he was in the apartment without me. Breaking down some of the gear because I had to go, and he was here with Hillary, and he was like afraid that he was gonna give it away. And I actually told her about that, and she's like, "It's funny. I was wondering about that. I just thought he like felt weird being here alone with me or something." And I was like, "No."
Yeah, I think we actually talked about that last week.
Yeah,
but yeah, I was like hiding behind the door, like the Grinch talking to Cindy Lou Who. I was like, I have to leave, but I'll be back. I have to fix.
Yeah, dude. So yeah, man. I guess that's pretty much it.
It's beautiful, man.
She's already fucking sending me wedding venues. I'm like, can we like take 2 seconds? She's like, you know who you're marrying. I'm like, oh God.
Here we go.
We're already talking like that. For crying out loud. I know we're heading to a wedding in Wyoming, which feels like a really appropriate like break, because after that I'm going into beast mode with the road. I'm getting ready to do my special. I'm performing all over the place. Like I told you guys at the beginning of the episode, I added a bunch of more dates. So I'm super pumped for that, but we're going to go and we're going to get to chill and celebrate. But also, of course, it's not going to infringe upon the wedding at all that we're going to, but it's going to be fun to get to spend some time together in nature. And, I've always said, Ryan, I'm interested in doing meaningful rituals with Hillary in nature.
Yeah.
And anytime I tell my friends this, they make fun of me, but maybe this will be an opportunity for us to sneak off and do some meaningful rituals. I know it's nothing nasty, you freaking pervs. But dude, yeah, really exciting, really well executed, and happy about it, man.
Fiance,
dude. Fiance. Pretty fucking nuts. So yeah, dude, I don't know if any of you guys have any stories about like noteworthy stuff that happened when you proposed. We'd definitely be interested to hear about it, even if it's like you completely fucked it up or a really clever surprise or anything. I'd be curious to hear about it.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about a blunder. I know that sucks and it's probably personal, but
yeah, I
would love to hear about that.
And I'm sure, and listen, fucking up can be equally memorable. I always say that, like when you travel, if something terrible happens, obviously, if it's not death or something like too traumatic, like it ends up Ryan.
That would suck.
Ryan's holding it in. Let it out, Lynch. Let it out.
Nothing.
But no, it ends up being the thing that you remember. You know what I mean? Getting through adversity, surviving, ends up being the thing that makes you stronger and that you remember. So, which by the way, I recommend that show, Living to 100 or whatever it's called, the Blue Zones show on Netflix. It's so good, so interesting. And it talks about that. It's like they were noticing differences between why people in one town live longer than another one. And one of the things that they decided was that the church was at the top of like a steep hill in one of the towns. So people were walking up there every fucking day, and those people lived longer.
Oh.
Isn't that crazy? Because they were just so active or whatever. So anyway, whatever. But one thing I've been really excited about and thought was so fun is that people have just been so excited for me, dude. And it's so fun. I mean, I think that post was maybe the best performing grid post picture I've ever posted by far. And anytime I tell random people or whatever, everybody's so excited. And it's so nice. Thank you, everybody. And it's been so great.
It's a testament to you two.
Thank you.
I'm not just saying that.
I appreciate it.
You guys have a great relationship. I've gotten to know you for the last couple of years, and her a little over, about 2 years too. You guys have a great thing going, so we're all really happy for you.
Dude. Thanks. And yeah, it was a really fun moment too. After the dust settled, like we obviously had a big night at the apartment. We ordered pizzas, we ordered a bunch of alcohol, and her friend Jessie ordered so much shit. Jessie, that was amazing of you. There's so much shit. Like I've never seen more water arrive. I was like, this is amazing. And we played games. We had fun. And I remember waking up the next morning, like pretty hungover. Still went to Pilates, by the way, which I have a funny story about. But I wake up and Hillary's like right there, like smiling. And I was like, oh, that's so fun. But I told Louisa, my like Pilates instructor, I was like, I'm proposing. She's like, oh my God. She goes, make sure to use your core when you go down to get on one knee.
That's nice.
And push through your heel when you stand back up. I'm like, oh, that's very cute. And dude, the next day in class, she goes, guys, I have a habit of embarrassing my friends, but this is Giulio. He proposed yesterday. And everyone's like, thank you. Everybody was like, and she said yes. And everyone's like, oh, obviously a girl-dominated class. But
Enjoy this. Enjoy it. Bask in it.
Bask.
It's good.
Bask we will, Ryan.
It's good. We're going to have Hillary on next episode, which is going to be really exciting.
Going to be sick. So yeah, that's it. oopsthepodcast@gmail.com for your emails, at oopsthepodcast and all of our stuff. He is at Ryan is really polite. Follow him on everything.
And then I'm also Ryan is polite on Twitter. I post a lot on there, kind of like my diary. I love to share that with you guys if you check me out.
Oh yeah. And then is it Ryan is really polite on TikTok?
Everywhere else, Ryan is really polite.
Excellent. I'm at Not Julio. Check out my website for tour dates, notjulio.com. Got a bunch of stuff coming up. Ryan did his first proper stand-up show recently too, which we're going to hear about after we're done with all this engagement nonsense. And
it's not nonsense. Don't discredit anything.
Thank you, Ryan. A lot of exciting stuff coming down the pipeline for all of us. So thank you guys for being a part of it. I was really excited to share this with all of you. So happy that you could be here for it. And that's it. Goodbye.